everybody. Here we will be discussing about the antibiotic Ceftazidime Avibactum. It has been available since 2015 and this is a remarkable development in our fight against gram-negative resistant organisms, and that is because of the spectrum which this antibiotic covers. Ceftazidime is an old molecule. It's a cephalosporin with anti-pseudomonal activity, but it is inactive against the class A ESBL and also the class A carbapenemase. It is inactive against class C MC. It is inactive against the class D, inactive against the class B MBLs, where none of the beta-lactams other than the Monobactam estrionam works. It has no appreciable activity against the anaerobes, the gram-positives like Staphylococcus aureus, and against Acinetobacter. So adding Avibactum to Ceftazidime would not help with the anaerobes, the gram-positives, and Acinetobacter. It has been approved for two indications: skin and soft tissue infections and complicated intra-abdominal infections to begin with. And for intra-abdominal infections, it was used with metronidazole because it does not have anaerobic activity. And if you look at the comparator, it was a carbapenem against which it was compared. So regarding the efficacy, it's a very efficacious antibiotic, and wherever carbapenem might be expected to work, we can expect Ceftazidime Avibactum to work as well. And later on, it has also been approved for pneumonia, which are due to resistant gram-negative bugs against which this antibiotic works. What the Avibactum has done, it has extended the spectrum of action. And Avibactum, unlike the older generation beta-lactamase inhibitors, is a different molecule. It's not a beta-lactam lookalike. And that is why it is able to act against organisms for which the older generation beta-lactamase inhibitors were not working. If you look at the class A, Cas-Avi is active against ESBL and against the carbapenemase KPC. In class C, against the AMPC, which is elaborated by a lot of gram-negative organisms, and against class D, specifically for OXA48. Now, where is it that we would like to use Ceftazidime Avibactum? We can use it for skin and soft tissue infection, intra-abdominal infections with metronidazole, or pneumonia compared to a carbapenem. Whenever we want to use a carbapenem, this might be expected to be equally efficacious because that was a comparator against which we had tried Ceftazidime Avibactum. Or it might be used as reserve drugs, and where is it most suitable? It is for carbapenem resistant enterobacterials, the E. coli and the Klebsiella, mainly because it has been found that the class A KPC is the one which is mostly responsible for carbapenem resistant enterobacterials, and IDSA guidelines recommend Ceftazidime Avibactum as one of the drugs of choice for carbapenem resistant enterobacterials. It can also be used for carbapenem resistant pseudomonas. We already know that Ceftazidime has activity against pseudomonas, and the presence of Avibactum saves it from the AMPC, which majority of the carbapenem resistant pseudomonas elaborate. Here they might be used as monotherapy or can be combined with another agent, which could be estrionam if we think there is elaboration of MBLs by either of these organisms. We also need to understand the organisms can elaborate carbapenemases from various classes at the same time. And one of the classical example is the use of estrionam and Ceftazidime Avibactum combination for MBLs. We know that neither Ceftazidime nor Avibactum has any activity against the metallobeta-lactamases, but estrionam is stable against them. But estrionam is not active against the ESBL of class A and also against the AMPC. But when we combine the two, it has been seen that the success rate is much higher whenever an MBL is also detected. What is to be noted is the estrionam and Ceftazidime Avibactum here has to be used simultaneously but not sequentially, because we would like the presence of both the antibiotics at the same time so that they can act as a combination drug. So Ceftazidime Avibactum has extensively helped us in fighting many of the carbapenem resistant strains, and now we have meropenem, Avibactum, and imipenem, relibactam, and has given a new ray of hope with this newer generation beta-lactamase inhibitors.